Hi, welcome to Being Mindful. I'm Susan, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I lead meditation groups, and in today's meditation, we're focusing on focus. So sometimes when we're trying to meditate, we will find that the mind wanders, and this isn't a problem. It's not doing meditation wrong. It is something that happens to all of us because we're human beings. So, what we're doing here is using the idea of sharp focus versus fuzzy focus, looking at something very specific versus looking at something broad to practice the practice of focus. This has benefits for us in terms of being present with whatever is happening in our lives and actually having a meaningful experience with the present moment. But it's also a great practice for when you do need to focus on something with work, with a creative endeavor, with relationships and conversations. So, this practicing of focus is beneficial in lots of areas of our lives. Let's get started. All right, as we enter into a time of meditation, let's take a moment to clear the deck. We're not forcefully wiping everything off the deck, but we are just assessing what's there and allowing the things that aren't in the present moment to move into the background, to become less focused, right? We're going to have a sort of a blurry, fuzzy focus on the things that aren't happening right now. So if it's helpful to close your eyes as we approach this time, you can do that. It's fine to have them open as well. And allow any thoughts associated with what has already happened or things that might be happening in the future to shift into the background. Have a soft focus there and keep our attention on what's happening in this moment. These words coming out of my mouth, physical sensations, sounds, flavors, smells. As you come into a meditation posture, take care of anything that your body is saying needs attention. Can stretch, wiggle fingers and toes. If there's something that you can take care of that will help you come into this time with more ease, go ahead and do it. And as you settle into whatever posture you'd like to assume for this meditation, it can be sitting or lying down, standing, whatever feels right. Choose a position with intentionality. And what I'm going to have us do today is to play around with how we focus on the present moment. So at times, I'll invite you to focus on something very specific, and then we'll move to a broader focus, back to specific, and alternate between them. A little bit of mind training, focus training. So let's begin with a broad focus on the body as a whole. Whatever intentional posture you've assumed, step outside of that with your awareness and notice, observe the position of the body. Hold an image of yourself in your mind. Now I'll have you move your attention to where your body is in contact with the floor or the chair or both. So do a little scan from head to toe. And as you move down the body, notice which parts of you are in contact with something that's supporting you and which parts are not. Focusing mostly on the back and the feet, back of the head too. I'd like you to pick one area that is in contact with the floor or the chair and notice the physical sensation of the contact and the pressure between you and this object that's not you. This area that you've picked, how much of you is involved with this spot that you're focusing on? If you could draw an outline around this spot that you're focusing on, what would the shape of that outline be? Is there a color associated with it? What sort of temperature can you sense in this contact between your body and the floor and or the chair? Now allowing this spot that we've been focusing on to dissolve if in your awareness and come back to the body as a whole. sitting, lying, standing, whatever the body is doing, we observe it. And anything else that comes up in our awareness as we focus on the body can be also observed in the moment and placed in that fuzzy background. And as we focus on the body, noticing thoughts or emotions, judgments, distractions, or what feel like distractions, but are really just opportunities to practice our focus. We can notice these things that arise and shift them into that fuzzy background. They can hang around back there, but our primary focus, what is sharply observable, is the body. I'll invite you now to move from a focus on the physical body to sound that's in your environment. See if you can pick one sound that is in your awareness and stay with it. It might be a bird chirping outside your window, the sound of traffic, perhaps there's heat or air conditioning or some sort of temperature regulation system running in your house that you can hear. Something outside of you that may be constant or intermittent. And if while you're listening for this specific sound, another sound comes into your awareness, that other sound is also part of the present moment, but we will have a fuzzy focus on that sound while we have a sharper focus on the sound we've chosen to listen to. Various sounds come and go, and we pay the most attention to this one sound we've chosen. And each moment that sound happens, or we're able to attend specifically to it, is a gift. We can adjust our focus now to intentionally choose all sounds. See if you can loosen up the focus to welcome in everything the ears can detect without necessarily zeroing in on any particular sound. Some sounds constant, some happening just once. Some happening without any way to predict them. They just come up and then fade away. We loosely hold all of the sounds in our awareness without attaching to any particular sound. As we focus on sounds, other aspects may come into our awareness. Things that we can become aware of through our other senses or thoughts or emotions. And when this happens, it's an opportunity to notice them, shift them into the fuzzy focus area, and return our attention to whatever sounds are happening in the present moment. There aren't good sounds or bad sounds. They are all areas of focus for us. Now I'd like you to bring your attention to your toes. You don't have to move them or do anything special with them. We're just noticing that they exist, noticing any contact that they have with the ground, socks, shoes, air. Noticing the physical sensations of the toes. letting the toes dissolve in our minds as we move to our heels. Once again, noticing what it feels like for the heels to be in contact with whatever is touching them. Allowing the heels to dissolve in the attention of the mind and moving to the sensation of breath moving in and out of the body. Wherever the sensation of breath feels most prominent. Allowing the breath to fill us, to rise up in response to the breath, and then to release each breath and come to a point of relaxation. Using the breath as a reminder to fill ourselves up and then let go. As we approach the end of the meditation, can begin to wiggle fingers and toes, move the body in whatever ways would feel good. Allowing the eyes to open, the gaze to lift. And preparing to reflect. Now it's time to take a moment before we get back to whatever it is that we are facing in our lives to reflect on this opportunity that we had to slow down and practice focusing. So I'd be curious to hear in the comments what came up for you, what was helpful, what was challenging. Anything you'd like to share is welcome. If you're not already subscribed, I hope that you'll do that so that you can be part of future meditations. And if this particular video was a helpful one, you can save it to a playlist. It's wonderful to get a thumbs up, such a compliment. And at the end, I'll leave some links to meditations that you might find helpful that are similar. Thanks and have a great day.